The first person you have to learn how to lead is yourself. Before you can change your circumstances, build your future, achieve your goals, or become the person you know you are capable of becoming, you have to learn how to control what happens inside your mind. Your thoughts have power. The way you talk to yourself matters. The beliefs you repeat every day can either push you forward or keep you trapped in the same place. That is why mastering yourself begins with mastering your mind. There will always be moments when your mind tells you that you are not ready. It will tell you that the goal is too big, the journey is too difficult, or that somebody else is more qualified than you. Sometimes your own mind will remind you of every mistake you have ever made and use those mistakes as evidence that you should stop trying. But your past is not a command telling you where you have to go. It is information. You can learn from it without allowing it to control your future. You have to become careful about the thoughts you entertain. Not every thought deserves your attention. Fear may enter your mind, but you do not have to obey it. Doubt may appear, but you do not have to build your life around it. Failure may happen, but it does not mean you are a failure. There is a difference between experiencing something difficult and allowing that experience to define who you are. Mastering your mind means learning to pause before you react. When something goes wrong, your first reaction might be frustration. When someone criticizes you, your first reaction might be anger. When a plan fails, your first reaction might be to give up. But growth begins when you stop allowing every emotion to make your decisions for you. Feel your emotions, acknowledge them, and then decide what action actually serves your future. You cannot control everything that happens around you. People will disappoint you. Plans will change. Opportunities will disappear. Some doors will close without warning. You may work hard and still experience setbacks, but you can control how you respond. You can decide whether the setback becomes an excuse or a lesson. You can decide whether disappointment makes you weaker or wiser. You can decide whether a difficult season becomes the end of your effort or another chapter in your development. One of the strongest things you can do is keep promises to yourself. If you tell yourself that you are going to work towards something, show up. If you decide you're going to learn a skill, practice it. If you decide you're going to improve your habits, start taking small steps. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust with yourself. And when you trust yourself, you become harder to stop. You do not need to feel motivated every morning. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you will feel inspired, and other days you will feel tired, distracted, or uncertain. That is where discipline becomes important. Discipline means doing what matters even when your feelings are telling you to do something easier. It means choosing your long-term goal over your short-term comfort. Your mind will also try to convince you that you need to have everything figured out before you begin. You do not. You only need enough courage to take the next step. You can learn while moving. You can improve while trying. You can make mistakes and adjust your approach. Progress does not require perfection. Stop treating every mistake like proof that you should quit. Mistakes are part of learning. If something does not work, study it. Ask yourself what you can change. Become more prepared. Become more patient. Become more focused. Instead of saying, I cannot do this, ask, what do I need to learn so I can do this better? Your environment matters too. What you watch, what you listen to, and the conversations you constantly participate in can influence your mindset. Protect your attention. Spend more time around ideas that challenge you to grow and less time feeding distractions that leave you with nothing but excuses. Your mind is valuable, so be intentional about what you allow to occupy it. The goal is not to become a person who never feels fear, doubt, frustration, or disappointment. The goal is to become someone who refuses to let those feelings take control of the steering wheel. You can be nervous and still move. You can be uncertain and still learn. You can be tired and still take one productive step. You can experience failure and still decide that your story is not finished. Pressure yourself one decision at a time. Control your reactions. Challenge negative thinking. Keep your promises. Practice discipline. Learn from mistakes. Protect your attention. And every day choose actions that move you closer to the person you want to become. Discipline is built in the moments when nobody is watching. It is easy to work hard when people are applauding you, when everyone believes in you, or when success is already visible. The real test comes when you are alone, when there is no audience, no recognition, and no immediate reward. That is where you discover whether you are truly committed to your goals or simply excited about the idea of achieving them. Anybody can make a promise when they are motivated. You can wake up one morning feeling powerful and decide that everything is going to change. You can write down your goals, make a plan, and feel like you are ready to conquer the world. But motivation is temporary. Eventually, the excitement fades. You get tired. You become distracted. Something goes wrong. People doubt you. Progress becomes slower than you expected. That is when discipline has to take over. Discipline means choosing what matters most over what feels easiest right now. It means understanding that comfort and progress do not always travel together. Sometimes the thing you need most is the thing you least feel like doing. You may not feel like studying, practicing, exercising your skills, finishing the project, or getting back up after disappointment. But if your future depends on it, you cannot allow your feelings to make every decision. You have to learn how to work without needing someone to push you. Nobody should have to remind you every day why your dream matters. Nobody should have to chase you to complete what you started. There comes a point where you have to become responsible for your own direction. You have to wake up and decide that your goals deserve your effort. Even when nobody is standing around telling you to keep going, think about the small promises you make to yourself. You say you are going to spend an hour learning something new, but you choose entertainment instead. You say you are going to focus on your work, but you keep checking distractions. You say you are going to stop procrastinating, but you keep telling yourself that tomorrow will be different. These choices may seem small, but repeated choices become habits, and habits eventually shape your life. That is why discipline is not about one dramatic decision. It is about thousands of ordinary decisions. It is choosing to begin when you would rather delay. It is choosing to finish when you would rather stop. It is choosing preparation instead of excuses. It is choosing consistency instead of constantly searching for a shortcut. You also have to stop expecting immediate results. One of the biggest reasons people quit is because they do not see progress quickly enough. They work for a few days and expect their lives to look completely different. But meaningful growth often happens quietly. You may practice something for weeks before anyone notices improvement. You may work toward a goal for months before the results become visible. You may make good decisions every day while your circumstances still look the same. Do not mistake invisible progress for no progress. A seed does not become a tree overnight. Growth takes time, patience, repetition, and care. Your responsibility is to keep doing the right things long enough for the results to have a chance to appear. There will also be days when you fail to follow your plan. You may waste time, you may lose focus, you may make a poor decision. When that happens, do not use one bad day as an excuse to abandon everything. Discipline does not mean you never fall off track. It means you return to the track. Correct yourself quickly. Learn what caused the problem and make the next decision better. You have to become comfortable doing things that nobody celebrates. Read when nobody knows you are reading. Practice when nobody is impressed. Prepare when nobody sees the preparation. Keep improving when nobody is giving you compliments. Work on your character when there's no reward attached to it. The strongest version of you is built privately. When you develop discipline in private, you become less dependent on external validation. You stop needing people to tell you that you are doing well before you continue. You stop measuring every effort by immediate applause. Your standards become internal. You know what you committed to, and you understand why it matters. Your future is being shaped by what you repeatedly do when nobody is watching. Every quiet decision is teaching you something about who you are. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you strengthen your ability to follow through. Every time you keep moving despite discomfort, you become more capable of handling difficult seasons. Do not wait until you feel ready. Do not wait for somebody to motivate you. Do not wait until the perfect opportunity arrives. Build the habit of showing up. Build the habit of keeping your word to yourself. Build the habit of finishing what you start. Build the habit of doing the work even when the room is silent and nobody knows what you are becoming. There comes a point in your life when you have to stop waiting for somebody else to believe in you before you start believing in yourself. You cannot spend your entire life looking around for permission to become who you were meant to be. You cannot wait for everybody to understand your vision, agree with your decisions, or encourage every step you take. If you are serious about building a better future, you have to accept responsibility for your direction and learn to trust yourself. Sometimes the biggest obstacle is not a lack of ability. It is the habit of waiting for approval. You may have an idea, a dream, a skill, or a goal, but you keep asking what other people will think. You wonder whether they will laugh at you. You worry that they will criticize you. You are afraid that someone will say you are not good enough. And while you are busy trying to satisfy everybody else, your own opportunity is sitting there waiting for you to make a decision. You have to understand that people will always have opinions. Some people will support you. Some will question you. Some will not understand you. Some may even tell you that your goal is unrealistic because they cannot see what you see. But another person's inability to understand your vision does not automatically make your vision impossible. That does not mean you should ignore every piece of advice. Wisdom includes listening, learning, and considering constructive feedback. But there is a difference between receiving advice and surrendering control of your life. Listen carefully, think critically, and then make your own responsible decision. You have to become willing to bet on your own growth. That does not mean believing you are perfect. It means believing you can learn. You may not know everything today, but you can become more knowledgeable tomorrow. You may not have the experience you need right now, but you can gain experience by practicing. You may not have the confidence you want, but confidence often grows after you take action, not before. Stop telling yourself that you need to feel completely confident before you begin. Confidence is often built through evidence. When you take a small step and follow through, you prove something to yourself. When you learn a new skill, you prove that you can improve. When you survive a difficult season, you prove that you can handle challenges. When you make a mistake and get back up, you prove that failure does not have to define you. That is how self-belief becomes stronger. You also have to take responsibility for your choices. It is easy to blame circumstances, other people, bad timing, or a lack of opportunity for everything that is not working. Sometimes circumstances genuinely are difficult and some things are outside your control, but you still have control over your response. You can decide what you will learn, what you will change, and what step you will take next. Responsibility gives you power because it moves your attention from what you cannot control to what you can. If you want a different future, start asking better questions. Instead of asking, why does this always happen to me? Ask, what can I do differently? Instead of asking, why don't they believe in me? Ask, how can I strengthen my skills? Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what can I learn if my first attempt does not work? Your questions shape your attention, and your attention influences your actions. You cannot build a powerful life while constantly waiting for permission from people who are not responsible for your future. Your family may have expectations. Your friends may have opinions. Society may tell you what you should do. But ultimately, you have to live with the decisions you make. Choose your path carefully. Think about the consequences. Seek guidance when you need it. Learn from people who have experience. But once you have gathered what you need to make a responsible decision, have the courage to move. There will be moments when you have to walk without applause. There will be moments when nobody understands what you are trying to build. There will be moments when your progress is so small that even you question whether it matters. Those moments require inner strength. Do not measure your worth by how loudly other people celebrate you. Measure yourself by your commitment to growth, your willingness to learn, your ability to keep your word, and your courage to continue improving. You do not need everybody to believe in you. You need to develop enough belief in your ability to learn, adapt, work, and continue that other people's doubts no longer control your decisions. Bet on yourself by investing in yourself. Read, learn, practice. Ask questions, develop your skills, correct your mistakes, build better habits, take responsibility, keep moving. Your future will not be built by waiting for permission. It will be built by the choices you make when you finally decide that your life deserves your full effort. There will always be something standing between you and the next level of your life. Sometimes it will be fear. Sometimes it will be failure. Sometimes it will be rejection, disappointment, criticism, uncertainty, or a situation you never expected. The goal is not to create a life where obstacles never appear. The goal is to become the kind of person who knows how to face obstacles without allowing them to decide the ending of the story. You have to understand that difficulty does not automatically mean you are on the wrong path. Sometimes difficulty is simply part of the process. When something matters to you, there will be moments when you have to work harder than you expected. There will be days when progress feels slow. There will be times when you question your own abilities. Those moments can teach you patience, resilience, discipline, and problem solving if you refuse to let them define you. One of the most important things you can develop is a strong sense of purpose. When you know why you are doing something, it becomes easier to keep going when the excitement disappears. A goal is what you want to accomplish, but purpose is the reason behind it. Your purpose reminds you why the work matters when the process becomes uncomfortable. Without a clear reason, every obstacle can feel like a reason to stop. With purpose, an obstacle becomes something you have to understand and work through. That does not mean you should blindly continue doing something that is clearly harmful or no longer makes sense. Strength is not stubbornness. Sometimes the right move is to change your strategy. Sometimes you need to pause, learn, ask for guidance, or take a different route. The key is to keep your purpose while remaining flexible about your method. Do not confuse changing the plan with abandoning the dream. Maybe the first approach did not work. That does not mean nothing will work. Study what happened, identify what you can control, look at what you need to improve, then try again with better information. Failure can become one of your greatest teachers if you are willing to listen to it. When something goes wrong, ask yourself what the experience is trying to teach you. Did you need more preparation? Did you underestimate the amount of time required? Did you ignore useful advice? Did you allow distraction to take over? Did you give up too quickly? These questions turn disappointment into information. You also have to stop allowing temporary situations to create permanent decisions. A difficult week does not mean your entire life is going badly. One rejection does not mean you will always be rejected. One mistake does not erase everything you have learned. One disappointing result does not determine what your next attempt can produce. Sometimes you need to give yourself enough time to see beyond the moment. Obstacles can become especially powerful when you face them alone. That is why it is important to build a healthy support system. You do not have to carry every challenge silently. Talk to trusted people, ask for advice, learn from mentors and people with experience. Seeking help does not make you weak. It can help you see possibilities that you could not see by yourself. At the same time, you have to be careful about whose voice you allow to become part of your identity. Not every criticism deserves a permanent place in your mind. Some feedback can help you grow, while other comments are simply negativity. Learn the difference. Your attention is one of your most valuable resources. If you spend all day thinking about who doubted you, who criticized you, or who did not support you, you are giving those people control over energy that could have been used to build your future. Redirect that energy. Work on yourself. Improve your skills. Strengthen your discipline. Learn from your mistakes. Keep your priorities clear. Let your progress speak through your actions. You will also have to become comfortable with slow progress. Not every breakthrough happens suddenly. Sometimes the biggest transformation is happening through small decisions that nobody notices. One productive morning becomes a productive week. One disciplined week becomes a disciplined month. 1 month of better choices can change your direction. Do not underestimate small steps. The person who continues taking small steps can eventually travel farther than the person who constantly waits for the perfect moment. You do not need to solve your entire life today. You need to identify the next right action and take it. When obstacles appear, do not immediately ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Ask, what can I control? Ask, what is my next move? Those questions put you back into action. You cannot control every door that closes, but you can control whether you continue searching for another door. You cannot control every person's opinion, but you can control whether their opinion becomes your identity. You cannot control every setback, but you can control whether you learn from it, become committed to your growth. Let challenges sharpen your thinking instead of destroying your confidence. Let failure teach you instead of labeling you. Let rejection redirect you instead of convincing you that you have no value. The stronger you become internally, the less power temporary obstacles have over your direction. You begin to understand that a difficult moment is just a moment. A setback is an event, not an identity. A closed door is not proof that there are no other opportunities. Keep your purpose clear. Keep learning. Keep adjusting. Keep moving forward with patience and discipline. Build yourself so thoroughly that when life presents a challenge, your first instinct is not to surrender, but to look for the lesson, the opportunity, and the next step.